Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're on the stage of Nixon TV, the unofficial stage of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines. We are here at the National Executive Boardroom of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, where we can find framed photographs of BSP's past president. This wall tells stories of men who paved the way for the establishment of a noble movement 85 years ago. Through their sweat and toil, the Boy Scouts of the Philippines was born and grew larger and stronger as they spread throughout the archipelago. These men were respected individuals from various sectors of the society. They served without any financial rewards. Their trophy was seeing scouts grew up to become responsible citizens. One of the photographs belongs to Maximino Edralin Jr. Maximino Edralin Jr., a public relations guru, a top-notch journalist who fought for press freedom and protection, and a towering figure in Philippine Scouting, where he was known as Mr. Quality Scouting.
Indeed, Mr. Edralin was a towering figure in the BSP. He was the most respected and highly regarded scout leader in the movement. He became known for his fiery stance for quality scouting. Mr. Edralin once declared that what we need for most was quality rather than quantity in scouting membership. Because of this, his name became known not only in the BSP but also in the Asia Pacific. His stance for quality scouting became even more pronounced when he was invited to speak to the participants of the 21st Asia Pacific Regional Conference held in Brunei Darussalam in 2004. Mr. Edralin delivered a stunning challenge aptly titled "The Challenges in the Run Up to 2007, the 100th Year of the Global Scouting Movement." He delivered a scathing remark on three important issues that he wanted Geneva, home of the World Organization of the Scout Movement, to recognize and act upon, one of which is conducting performance audit of the implementation of the program in the affected NSOs. In his message, he took a swipe at the World Scouting leaders when he asked what we can report then about what Scouting has done in the last 100 years. The message was clear. The PR Commissioner lamented that nothing much has been done in the past decades of Scouting. He said to be able to say that Scouting has been successful, we should be able to say that we are making an impact on the problem that bedevils today's youth, like juvenile delinquency, dishonesty, drug addiction, pornography, violence, and so forth. Even the youth program did not escape his tongue lashing when he claimed it as long on research output and training materials, but short on specific, doable, relevant, and high-impact objectives and monitoring mechanism to make them happen. Back in the Philippines, he started his advocacy towards quality scouting by participating in the search for the 10 outstanding Boy Scouts of the Philippines as a panelist in the interview portion of the search, where he grilled the 21 candidates with questions that would reflect the quality of scouting in other parts of the country. A search without Mr. Edralin asking grueling questions to the participants would not be complete. According to Mr. Yasser Zarona, training executive of the National Office of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, one of the past winners of the search, his level of questioning would put any candidate at the edge of his seat. He said he had eyes and nose for details because the grand old man of Scouting was himself a scout when he was young during the post-war era. The Boy Scouts of the Philippines lost another icon. Dubbed Mr. Quality Scouting, former BSP National President and Public Relations Commissioner Maximino Edralin Jr. died at age 89 on October 15, colleagues in the media, public relations, his family, and the whole of the BSP mourned his death. On June 24, Mr. Edralin proudly posted on his Facebook a photo of him in his scout uniform. He was about to join the virtual election of representatives to the BSP National Executive Board. He wrote on his caption, "I am the oldest scout in uniform." That post was to be his last, and the last we would see the grand old man of scouting proudly wearing the uniform. Born on November 25, 1931, he joined the scouting movement as patrol leader of Troop No. 1 in his hometown Sarat, Ilocos Norte in 1945. He belonged to Atomic Bomb Patrol, a fun reference to the US bombing of Japan during the World War II. Aside from scouting, Mr. Edralin was also an icon of the public relations industry. He was a Gawad Panday awardee, the highest honor bestowed by the Public Relations Society of the Philippines to an individual. Mr. Edralin was also a journalist at Philippines Herald starting in 1949, where he was very well known for boosting press freedom and protection in the country. He joined the National Executive Board in 1989 and got elected as the 18th National President in 1992. He retired as Member Emeritus in 2016. In 2010, he received the Tanglaw ng Kabataan Award, the highest award conferred upon a Filipino scouter or lay member who has rendered especially outstanding services of unusual or extraordinary nature to the youth of the Philippines through scouting. Before that, he was also a Gold Uza and Gold Tamaraw awardee and a recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2007. Mr. Edralin was one of the most revered proponents of the search for the 10 outstanding Boy Scouts of the Philippines. In their own tribute to their mentor, the 10 Outstanding Boy Scouts Association of the Philippines Incorporated issued a memoriam which says, "During his stint as the longest-serving chairman of the TOBS National Selection Committee, he transformed the search for the 10 outstanding Boy Scouts of the Philippines into what it is today, recognizing scouts from all walks of life who exemplify what the scouting program aspires to achieve. Scouts with sterling achievement in community leadership, academic excellence, and good moral conduct." He has continued mentoring and guiding all outstanding scouts that came after him, raising them to give back to the institution that we hold dear, to always remain true to the finest tradition of the scout movement.
My first encounter with Sir Max was during the first search for the 10 outstanding Boy Scouts of the Philippines in 1989. It was really a humble beginning started by Mr. Quality Scouting himself, Sir Max Edralin, who was then the chair of the search. The national search made Boy Scouts of the Philippines to discover outstanding Boy Scouts in the country. And this is truly a breakthrough for those who have benefited from it, including myself. From then, Sir Max and I became friends.
Scout Edralin may be out at the moment, but we know that this great scout is now camping in heaven with his fellow scouts who gave their life to the movement. Paalam, Mr. Quality Scouting. You will always be remembered.